When it comes to air pollution, experts agree where you live greatly impacts your levels of exposure.
But for many people, escaping potential threats isn't as simple as picking up and moving. That's especially true for many living in Armourdale and the Argentine, two close-knit Kansas City, Kansas neighborhoods.
And yesterday we brought you the voices of those who care deeply about their communities and want to see their air quality concerns addressed. So today, in part 2 of our special series, Invisible Inequities, we're taking a closer look at exactly what's in the air and what more needs to be done.
Anchor Caitlin Canute and web editor Lily O'Shea Becker explain.
So I remember that fire well. Remember, we could see that for miles around. Even in Johnson County, you could see it.
Yeah, I remember people coming into work that day. They were talking about the smell outside, and that was not too long after I had gone on a tour with Clean Air Now, where we had gone through various communities in eastern Wyandotte County, and we had looked at what the nonprofit considers some toxic sites.
There were some sites that we saw that were concerning to me.
So we know that it was CAN's tour that prompted the EPA to do some investigating. It was your original web reporting, though, Lily, that prompted me to get involved. I know we started talking through how we wanted to cover this. I think we both agreed we had to talk to the people directly impacted.
There's a lot of air pollution that we are receiving from all sides and, in different ways.
Los camiones me da preocupación porque ellos dejan.
What worries her the most is the close proximity or fence line to the diesel emissions from these trucks.
And I know as we continued to talk to those folks, they said they weren't just worried about the businesses.
Yeah, you're right. They're surrounded by highways. We got a highway right there. We have the rail yards right there, and these communities are just surrounded by them.
Yeah, we're really in the heart of it right now here in Argentine.
Literally right here.
Take a look at this map, for example. You can see Argentine and Armourdale here. Now look at those rail lines Lily mentioned running through these neighborhoods, plus the major highways. Now pay attention to all the pink and red dots on this map. Clean Air Now identifies those as toxic release inventory sites and emission inventory system sites, many of them highlighted on that tour last spring.
They had concerns about the compliance status of some of the facilities that we drove by. And so we're currently in the middle of doing compliance inspections at these facilities.
There is no proper mechanism of enforcement in the area. They all just delegated to each other. Well, it's your responsibility, or you should go inspect it, or should we go as a team?
Clean Air Now does acknowledge that the EPA is trying. They do acknowledge that they go out to these facilities sometimes and they'll even fine them or mark them as violators.
And we did find some actually as we poured through the EPA's website.
We did. There are 5 current significant violators in Wyandotte County.
But I think Clean Air Now made it pretty apparent to us that they think it's still not enough. In fact, I think their main concern is, could there be more pollutants in the air here?
Yeah, I think their main concern is how and where these pollutants are being monitored.
The day of the fire, for example, the EPA found there was no significant air pollution, but Clean Air Now claims those numbers are somewhat skewed.
Their data is collected in 12-hour averages, so it's not real time either, because regulatory grade monitoring does not capture local events, does not capture exceedances or like a spike, something that could happen.
There were no exceedances of the health-based air quality standards, but I completely understand a concern by the community that, well, maybe short-term concentrations could be impactful.
In addition to how the EPA air quality data is gathered, Clean Air Now takes issue with where the air monitors are located.
You're right, you can see 2 EPA monitors in these neighborhoods here marked in blue. Compare that to 6 of Clean Air Now's monitors in pink. 3 of those you can see much closer to Argentine and Armourdale.
There's only a limited amount of funding, and so across the United States we have 4,000 monitoring stations for air, and that has to cover over 3 million square miles. The closest station that we have set up is at about 10th and State, which is about 6 miles from here.
That's where the EPA says Clean Air Now can come in as a community science partner and kind of fill in those gaps.
Yeah, they definitely seem like they were really grateful, genuinely grateful for the work they're doing. I know that Clean Air Now told us they're really concerned with that fine particulate, those super small particles in the air, and that's something we asked Dr. Friedman about with Children's Mercy Hospital, and she said it can have an impact on a person's health.
And that's part of the injustice for communities living fence line to that industrial corridor. Because they are always going to be disproportionately burdened with the pollution.
Already, studies like this one from the Health Equity Action Transformation Project show poor health outcomes in these neighborhoods and others.
I think we should point out the EPA said they are taking these concerns seriously. They're going to look to see if there's more they can do, and they said they could use that to supplement what they're already doing here in these portions of Kansas City, Kansas.
We have been out doing inspections actively at this point in time. We have been looking at the air quality and watching the nature of the concentrations. The residents should remain diligent, and when they have issues like that, report them to the local government, to the state, and to us.
We know from talking to people living here, they plan on keeping an eye on air conditions and raising their voices when they have concerns.
That's because this is part of their history. They told us that they want to stay put here and they want to make it better for future generations.
It's a very tight-knit small town feel inside of, the big city. So, everyone knows everyone, and, it's awesome. We just love it.
Folks, if you missed part one last night, you need to watch it. It highlights why so many residents feel connected to these neighborhoods. You can find that story on our website, kshb.com, by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. You can also read web editor Lily O'Shea Becker's in-depth reporting on Clean Air Now's concerns. Plus, you can learn more about the businesses in that area that have been flagged by the EPA.
And coming up tomorrow, Caitlin and Lily recreate a study that Clean Air Now did to better understand how truck traffic impacts that area.